singing Run to the House. I've been in a series of talks called Run to the House, and I've been saying when we run to the house, to his house, then we'll know how to run our house. I'll say it again. When we run to the house, his house, then we'll know how to run our house.
Woo!
It's very interesting. The Bible talks about our lives being houses. Our lives are literally dwelling places for the Lord himself. That's stunning when you take a step back and go, I'm a house. The moment I welcome God into my life, that's when things start coming together. That's when my life starts blowing up. It's not perfect. There's still challenges and situations that we face that are very difficult. But that's the way we were hardwired to live. Who is running your house? Think about it just for a second. Who's running your house? Are you running your house, or have you said, okay, God, I want you to run the show? A guy back in the day, I'm talking about way back in the day, Joshua, he said one day in Joshua chapter 24, verse 15, these words. The guy just stood up and he spoke up and he manned up. He said, as for me and my house, we are going to serve the Lord. I love that. He went on record. A man's man. In fact, it was his last speech before he clocked out. As for me and my house, me and my spouse, me and my kids, we are going to serve the Lord. So if you've got a family, if you're a single parent, or maybe you have a bunch of kids, and you're the man, you have been given the responsibility to run the house. Your house will never hit on all cylinders until you allow God to run. Joshua said, as for me, God's going to run my house, and then my house, we are going to serve the Lord. He didn't give his kids options. He wasn't like, okay, if you want to, if you are in the mood, you can go to God's house. He said, as long as you're sitting at my table, as long as the roof is over your head, you're going to go to church. Think about it, parents. We don't give kids options when it comes to going to school. Hey, it's your choice. Do you want to go to school or not? I just want you to make up your mind. I don't want to force it on you. No. We don't have a choice, do we, kids? We go. Wise parents and men who step up and speak up and man up say, okay, we're going to serve the Lord. We're going to serve him, because if you're not serving, you're swerving. What's a house? A house is a holy objective utilized to serve everyone. That's the definition of your house and mine. That's the definition of your life and mine. As for me and my house, have you made that decision? I'm going to serve the Lord. Or we are going to serve the Lord. What was Joshua saying? He was saying back in the day, walk this way, talk this way. He was saying back in the day, walk his way and talk his way. That's what he was saying. What does it mean to walk a certain way? Did you love the band? I mean, I love love that. Off the steps, they were still in rhythm. You realize that God has a cadence for every person's life here?
Yes. God
has a certain way that he wants you and me to walk. I remember back in the day, it was like 20 years ago, I was at this conference and some guys go, oh, you've got to be Ed Young's son. And I'm like, how did you know? Well, they said, just by the way you walk. Dads, how are you walking? Because your kids and mine will walk the way we walk. Are you walking his way? Talk his way. How about you talk? As you walk and talk, sync up. Do they coalesce? Are they together? I played a lot of basketball growing up. And guys, we have the unique ability to overestimate our abilities. Guys, though, I've got to believe we overestimate our basketball playing abilities more than any other sport. You talk to a guy, hey, you good at tennis? No, I'm all right. Hey, can you play golf? Football? How about basketball? Oh, I can play, man. Throwing the ball. What? A lot of us talking again. Well, Joshua's driving at this situation that we're going to open up today with Rev Run. I would argue that Joshua was the first one that premiered Run's house. Joshua said, God, you running my life, you running my house. When I run to your house, I know I run my house, you running the show, and that's the deal. That settles it. Well, now, years later, we have Rev Run come along. And Rev Run has this shift in his life that takes place. His soul is power washed by the Lord. He has this show called Run's House. Goes crazy. Everybody's talking about it. He's talking about how he's a reverend, how God is running the show and calling the shots. And we're going to hear about it. I like it. Reverend.